is, so DeepInvent is, it's an AI that can invent new intellectual property. It's creative, and it has intuition. So it's a bold claim, but I'm going to explain to you how this all works and how it got started. So the way that it generates new intellectual property is that it'll start with an idea, and then based on just that idea alone, it will pull in information about the idea, about the industry in which that idea exists, as well as all the relevant scientific literature up to the minute, and all the prior art that's related to it. And it will pull that into a knowledge graph. Then with that information, it'll identify the white space, or the under-innovated low-density regions in that knowledge graph, and it will generate new intellectual property in that white space. And that intellectual property will be high non-obviousness, high novelty, and high utility, which are the criteria that the USPTO uses to evaluate patentability. Just in December, we got the architecture up to a certain threshold, which was we wanted to see if it could start innovating new intellectual property, and specifically if it could innovate on its own architecture. So we wanted to test it on something that we knew and understood really well, which was itself, that we had been building on it for 9 months leading up to that point. So we fed it its own product definition, and we asked it to innovate on itself. And not only did it do that, but there was something in my handwritten notebook that was the only place that it existed, was handwritten in my engineering notebook. That was the product of 8 months of thinking about it, falling asleep thinking about it, waking up thinking about it, researching it ad nauseum. And that was recursive evolutionary regression. It was a style of predictive modeling to predict where the white space would be based on the knowledge graph. And it would use this evolutionary algorithm to breed the best ideas and to generate them. So the system on its first run, it came up with something that we called recursive evolutionary inference. And so that's this deeper processing that happens at inference using this genetic algorithm. And so that day, we were able to continue on with the process, which I'll show you in a moment here, and file the patent that it had come up with. So that day it became the first AI to innovate on its own architecture and patent itself. And so with that, we knew that we had something here that we wanted to be able to provide to the rest of the ecosystem. Specifically startups, that's a thing that's near and dear to my heart. It's an addiction. This is my 5th startup. So with that, I'm just going to show you a little bit about how it works. Very important. We're going to give free access to everyone in this room. You're going to get a free week. The compute is on us. Be patient. The last time we showed this, which was the very first time, basically everybody signed up, so we had to kind of fortify the security infrastructure and get the system ready for the onslaught of compute that we had to burden. So within a week or two, you'll have access and you'll be able to catch your IP up. So all the work in progress that you have, things that you've been innovating on, that you've been needing to get patents on file, you'll be able to do that with this in one sitting in about 30 minutes. And then you'll be able to start innovating something new. Thank you very much.